Hello and welcome everyone to today's video. My name is Vishal Valla and today we are going to discuss why US dollar is world's most dominant currency. Before we begin, I have prepared a summary sheet for you on this topic. Also, I have made a PowerPoint presentation to discuss this topic. You can download these both for your future reference. How? Well, I'll tell you that later in the video. So, let's start our discussion. Before we begin the video, let us see a flow of discussion. Firstly, we will see history of how USD became the world's dominant currency, and then we will understand why US dollar continues to be the world's dominant currency. So let's start with the history. Till around mid of 20th century, UK's pound sterling was world's dominant currency, but by the end of 20th century, US dollar had replaced it. Let's see how. Developed countries always tied their currencies to gold, and during the Second World War, USA sold weapons and supplies to its allies and collected payments in gold. Important fact to note is that USA had collected so much payments in gold that by 1947 US had over 70% of the world's gold. After World War II, the international financial system was governed by a Bretton Woods Agreement. At that time, since USA controlled over 70% of the world's gold, it insisted that countries peg their currencies against US dollars, which in turn would be pegged against gold. A lot of major countries like Canada, Australia, Japan, several Western European countries agreed because US government guaranteed the other central banks that they could sell their USD reserves at a fixed rate for gold. Now, in the 1970s, countries started demanding gold in exchange for US dollars held by them. This threatened dollar's position as a dominant currency. So in 1971, US terminated convertibility of USD to gold, and then USD became the fiat currency. A fiat currency is essentially a government issued currency that is not backed by a commodity such as gold. Now that we know how dollar became the fiat currency, the most dominant currency, let us come to why it continues to be the most dominant currency, or we can also call these factors that define the world's primary currency. First factor is that United States has a very efficient banking system, which is one of the most crucial aspects of being world's primary currency. Now let's understand how an international transaction takes place in US dollars. Let's say a person in Japan sells goods to a person in India, and person in India makes payments in US dollars because Japanese person would not want INR as it is easier for him to conduct further business in US dollars. Now, Bank of Indian person and Bank of Japanese person settle payment in dollars via a correspondent bank in the US. Money is transferred via a correspondent bank because they have an account with the Federal Reserve Bank of US and are thus seen as a safe counterparty. Second factor is stability of the economy in which that currency is used. Investors want to invest their money in safe haven currencies. That means currencies which will not lose their value even during market turbulence. Let us look at some recent examples of the stability of US economy. Even during the COVID pandemic, US dollar did not depreciate, and also Federal Reserve Bank of US set up a number of procedures called swap lines with other major central banks like the Central Bank of UK, Europe, Japan, etc. to trade US dollars to ensure the USD is available for investment and spending. This helped stabilize currency markets. Another very important point is how much of the world trade is invoiced in that particular currency. This brings us to a very significant piece of data. In 2019, around 88% of international transactions involved US dollar. This shows the acceptability of USD. As shown in the chart, 88% of the transactions were done in USD, while all the other currencies combined accounted for only 12% of the international transactions. Fourth factor is holdings of debt of that currency. Around 40% of world's debt is held in US dollar, which is why countries need a lot of USD to conduct business. Another point is ease of trade. It is easier to trade in USD than any other currency in the world because of its acceptability, as we saw in the previous point, and quotes against USD are available against almost any currency. Another factor is foreign currency reserves of that currency held by other countries. As of 2019, over 60% of the forex reserves held by countries is of US dollar, and no other currency comes close, as you can see in the diagram. The seventh point here is price of all major commodities are priced in US dollars. A very important fact. Commodities like crude oil, gold, silver, etc. all are priced in dollars. Thank you very much for your time, and I sincerely hope that you got some value from this video. Always remember, it is not money or power or anything else. Only wisdom is glory. Well, as promised in the beginning of the video, I am now going to tell you how you can download the PowerPoint presentation and the summary sheet. You can go to my Telegram channel, link is in the description box, where I will upload these files and also keep you updated about my future videos and upload more such files. I will also be discussing about more recent news that I cannot make videos about on YouTube or the Telegram channel. Thank you.